An apothecary? Oh, yeah. Though it does, it could use a little bit of a paint job. I did find some glass that fit it because this is not the original, but we'll get to that. And then a storage, a hardware parts, something that's very manly in the shop. I'm hoping I can get that in to be somebody's, because man, if you do stuff that you need little cubbies for, this is perfect. It's just not very pretty. And then a drawer, just a random drawer. If you're a picker and somebody calls you up and say, hey, you can pick my barn, would you go? It is amazing what people put out in their barns that they no longer want, don't have a use for, and then we get to go pick them. So I have 3 items today that we are making over. Barn finds. Dirty, aged, but good bones. Good bones. So I'm hoping to make them over and get them back out there, out of that barn and into somebody's home for beautiful home decor. If you need storage, this has amazing storage. Somebody made this for hardware, probably pieces and parts, just pieces of metal that were bent. They kind of do hurt your fingers though. So we're actually just going to look at all that yummy storage. Even compartments. Hoping to be able to change the hardware out. More compartments. So I want to see what I can do for a top and some detail. Now that it's a little bit lighter now. We got a little piece of wood here, but there's not one here. I don't think that really matters. That's this is your bottom. We don't have to worry about that. I just want to make it flat. Most of it is flat. It is flat. But we got, I don't know. I just think, or maybe some decorative. Well, let's see what we can come up with. Might as well sand it a little bit first. That's always my go-to. The piece of wood here moves. So I can see the shelves. So I'm going to try as best as I can to get a line in the center of the shelf, at least on a couple, to be able to put some brad nails and hold it together. Gonna paint it, so I'm not worried about my pencil mark. But while I can see those, it would be a good time to see if I can get those nailed. Do I have the same situation on the other side? No, because it's all it's all one piece. Do have a couple nails, so I'm gonna get those hammered in at least. There. Now it doesn't move. As much as I'd like to cut a new top for this, you just start adding on more problems or more things you have to fix. And it's already super heavy, so adding more wood to it's just going to even make it heavier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some Bondo and use it as some wood filler to see if I can get that top to be a little bit more, just a little bit more. Got a couple holes, you got a divot, you got a nail poking its little head because the wood's missing. So Bondo with some putty and you mix it in with the hardener, and it's perfect to use as a wood filler. They have the wood filler one. I usually just go for the all-purpose because that's what Walmart carries here locally, but you can get it off Amazon, many places. since we're going to paint it. I don't think it's any big deal to try to cover in that gap. Okay, at least we can start off with blowing the drawers out. I don't know. How are these in here? Are they screwed in? Oh, they're screwed in. Okay. I wasn't sure. Like, do I just pull them? I just unscrew them. And then the little metal thing will come off. Get your hands on these. You just never know. There's a little piece of wood that's flapping. So I'm just going to take some CA glue. I'm just going to get it on in there. CA glue has a nice little activator dryer. Go ahead and spray it. I'm going to push that down. Let that set up, and it's sandable. 15 seconds. Tape off the drawer fronts, but I'm not going to wet the inside because the inside is MDF board. Meaning if I get that wet, it's just going to swell. So at the end, I'll just do some yummy wax to clean it all up. I'm not really positive what I'm going to do for hardware quite yet, but I am going to go ahead and fill in that hole then, just with some wood air dry Dawes clay. Okay, my Bondo's dry, and now we're going to go ahead and sand it. Seems like it's a hot mess before you can start making it any better. So now that I sanded it, we're going to go ahead and get it wiped down. That way I can make sure that everything's smooth. There's no more nails sticking out. That's our biggest concern there. Tried to flatten this as much as I possibly could. Is it perfect? Probably not. Is that chalk paint? I think so. The way that black sanded, it's all good. I'm definitely going to shellac this. Seal in that paint, whatever that paint is. And then the wood is really dry. Using shellac as a primer. So I know I want to use a milk paint. I'm going to go ahead and use Homestead House Stockholm Green. It looks good. I've never used it. We'll see what it looks like. Does not look anything in the bag like it does on the package, but you know, all how you finish it. Yeah, if you went by that color, you would like, what? That's not it. It is. Water with the Homestead House brand, it seems like it doesn't need as much water. And then you can always, for some reason, you can always see the pigments, the pigment of colors. And sometimes you see that on your eye. I don't know. I'm never looking for a perfect kind of thing, so I don't mind it at all. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. It's green now. It just needed water to be. It's magical. Okay, I'm going to start off with the easy ones. The doors, the drawers. See, that's why I take the time to tape off, because I can just be a messy painter and not have to worry too awful much about it. Oh, I like that color. It definitely looks like old-timey green. It's like something I would have created with Sweet Pickens paint, actually. When I'm mixing basil and in a pickle, and there you go. All in one. Don't realize how big that is until you go to you're going to paint it. Good coverage though. Taking the time to sand, using the shellac. All's helping to attract this paint. I did tape off the sides of the back. Like I said, it's already super heavy, so to put like a new bottom, a new top, or something like that, oh my lordy, that would even make it heavier. So I'm thinking I'm going to use these antique. There's something I took off something else, but like the original knobs that I took off here, some of them have a divider, so then they off-centered them because they couldn't get them all the way into the wood. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm just going to use these little poles, and I might just ebony rub and buff them just to give them a little bit more age, because I don't really think the antique bronze goes with the green. I don't know how long they've been sitting, so we're going to go ahead and give them a wipe down. Well, apparently I don't have any ebony rub and buff, but I do have this antique wax and soot, so let's see what that does to it. There's definitely a different product in the rub and buff. I did not know that I didn't have any more. That happens. Okay, not doing pretty much anything. So I'm going to actually take some Weather Defense, some of the decrepit dust, and we'll just make them look rusty crusty. And this does make them look rusty crusty. See? Yes, it does. Whew, look at that. Isn't that not gorgeous? Okay, let's see what happens when we sand it. So in the hemp oil, there's a regular hemp oil and then there's a dark, and I have not tried the dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try. I see that it's settled to the bottom, so we're gonna go ahead and shake it up. You do have to still milk paint in with something, and I'm hoping that the dark will get in there, get into some of those crevices, age it a little bit to match what the hardware ended up turning out like. And then it should deepen the wood and give the wood a drink. Oh, I like it. So that's the difference. So not terribly. It's not like black or anything. It's dark. There again, you'll have to wipe on and then wait 10 minutes and then wipe off the excess, what didn't soak in. So I hemp oiled the front, but I am going to kind of freshen up the inside, and I'm just going to use the citrus sealed paste by Howard's Restore. It smells yummy. Just so it doesn't smell so much like a garage shop barn. It's MDF board, so at least a little something, a little protective layer to the MDF board. Meaning like if it gets wet or anything. So it's just going to come be an eyeball thing. Get them all on there. And then figure out where they need to go. They should all be going by where my nail is. Start from the bottom. I'm going to puncture a little hole with my piercing picking tool. We're gonna get them on. They're small. They're so small that you can't really use a drill. So working your muscles. Okay, so these are the shelves that came with this when I bought it. They have holes in it. They're not, I'm pretty sure they're not original. And I just happened to have other one that had extra in it. And they actually fit. Oh, and I don't know. Oh, I bet you somebody made like a replacement. I don't know. We don't need that. So this isn't the original paint. This is super shiny. You can see all the brush marks. We're not going to worry about that part right now. As I'm a decor lover, I sell home decor. As cool as it is to carry it around, it's just going to find its permanent place sooner or later. So you can set yummies on top of it. If I can get this hardware off, I'm going to. Oh, apparently the holes go all the way through because that nut just fell and shied. There you go. Then I'm all for chippy, but you don't want it so bad that you can't see the original color. Like I said, this isn't, it would not have been super shiny like this. So we're going to see how much I can sand. So got a little Bondo, which is the gray stuff, and then the hardener, which is the blue. You mix the two together and it starts to harden. And you got about a couple minutes to work with it, but by usually about 10 minutes it's hard and you can start sanding it. But since these were so deep, so these are the brackets that would hold up the shelves. They were painted in. As you can see, it's a really shiny paint. So I'm just seeing how much of it I can sand, just to give the new paint something to grab onto. I think the back side of this is metal, so it's just flaking off when I touch it anyway. I created quite a mess, but it was just, I mean, as soon as you touched it, the paint was coming off because it wasn't probably prepped. It just, it was. So I'm trying to chip away all the paint built up on the glass now. Just when you think you got it all sanded, it's not. I'm actually taping off both sides of the glass. Scraped up as much paint as I could get. And it's funny because like as you're touching it, the paint's coming off more with the tape. But we're not stripping this down to natural. I finally made it to the point where I can wash it off. I'm not going to be gentle with that paint if any whatever else chips off. Like I said, as I was in the inside, especially when I was taping it, it was like, oh, some more of it's going to chip off. My hopes is we can shellac the paint, whatever might still want to chip off, especially in the inside. We can shellac it, seal it in. I can only hope. Kind of wish I had a cream, that off-white, but I don't. All I have on hand is white. But I think the inside needs to be lighter. Okay, there was a number on there. Can you see that 18? So I'm going to give it a try. This is flat spray paint, so I could stain it, you know, like put some wax on it or something. We'll see. We'll see what it does. I love the green color of that apothecary. I'm going to try to match it. So I'm going to mix a concoction of Cheshire, which is a light green. I'm going to go ahead and do like 3 scoops of that. 1 scoop of basil to darken it up. And then in a pickle, because it's kind of got that brightness to it. I'm staring at it as I'm mixing it up. Might want some more in a pickle, but I'll see in a second. Nice thing about it is you can kind of play with it and mix it up. Oh yeah, I need more in a pickle. Probably 2. Probably more paint than I need, but now I've already created it. I might have should have went with olive, but too late now. This is what it's gonna be because my cup is running over. Okay, even though my cup's running over, I'm adding artichoke. Oh, I really like that green. Yeah, I think the artichoke's what I needed. That like a little blue green. We're gonna try to paint why the inside is wet. That's a pretty close color match. It's not an exact match, but I nixed the idea of putting some beeswax on it. I'm like, well, the only place I'd be able to put it is the top, so I got plenty to put on a nice coat on the top. And with Fusion's antiquing, which is more brown than aging, antiquing wax. And let's just work on the door and see what it does. I don't know how much age it'll give it. Like I said, it is a flat paint, so it might give it just at least a little bit so it's not so stark white. I think it will. Yeah. First one right off. I mean, it definitely. I mean, comparative to the inside, it did. We're gonna say add some age, some dirt to it. So not bad. Now that I got the inside all put back together, I cleaned the windows, put the little shelves in. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the outside sanded. I do as much as I can with the power sander, but there's always those spots you have to go back in and hand sand. So that's what we'll do. A lot of times you want to take that tape off so then you can get that crusty edge. To seal the milk paint in and bring out the riches, I'm going to use some hemp oil. This is just the clear. It's one of those where you wipe it on, you wait 10 minutes, and you wipe off the excess. But look at how that just richens it up. It brings out all the imperfections that I was hoping to achieve to keep it age appropriate with the milk paint. So luckily, I still have that antiseptic sterilizer saved to my Cricut. So I'm just going to go ahead and reprint that out. It's good to have a few things saved, isn't it? Do all the little weeding. Would love to figure out how to cut the little lines to be able to do a black line and a gold line, but every time I do, it gets destroyed, no matter how sharp my blade is, how slow I'm going, what my pressure is. So this is, how much time do you spend, right? I just cut close to my letters, that way it just helps me when I go to put it onto the piece. Okay, just gonna use some transfer tape. I'm laughing because it's like, yeah, I didn't want to. I'm going to condition it and get some dust and dirt on it so it doesn't necessarily see if I get it close enough, then I'm not so far off when I go to try to make it even and level and all that good stuff. Just going to kind of eyeball. So my lettering I take off, so when I go to put my color on, my paint on the glass, I don't accidentally touch where I don't want it to be. So Folk Art makes a glass paint, and this is just gold. And I'm actually just going to pour some out on this plate. And then apply it with a makeup sponge. And the first coat always kind of looks translucent. You don't see enough of it. But we'll go ahead and dry that in between coats, and then we'll reapply a second coat. Sometimes if you warm up the vinyl, this is semi-permanent vinyl, so it's removable. But sometimes when you do multiple coats, it likes to become one with the tape, like it pulled off a little piece of the T. But my theory is the rest of it's kind of aged anyway. I'm not going to go back in and try to fix a little mishap like that. Once it's cured, it'll be on there. I've had one of that I had in my own for quite a while now. May not be age appropriate, but some little feeties on this I think will help. Like, you could tell that there were ones at one time. That way it just doesn't have wood resting. People seem to love these little, I mean, I think they love it that it's a salvage drawer. There's not anything you have to do to that. That is just yummy as it is. The drawer itself's a little wonky at the moment, but making these into little shelves, people seem to love. I said it was a little, I said we had some wonkiness. So stay. So I'm gonna put some brads in here. Do what you can. Well, it's not moving or anything now. So I'm gonna put some wallpaper, peel and stick wallpaper in the back. I'm gonna darken up the sides, kind of even out from where it's got water stains. And then we're gonna put a shelf in it and make it a cute little cubby. I bought this roll of paper off of Amazon and I've used it a lot on roll. You can get different links of what is available to buy. I thought, well, I like green. I think it's a kind of a classic pattern, not too busy. So I think I'm going to leave that at the top. I think it'll be cute. Corner. I'm probably going to cut a little bit of the extra off. Make it a little bit easier to work with. I would have done that with the backing on there, but it likes to roll. So we're just going to cut some of that off. Give you a little bit less to work with. At least it's stuck a little bit to the drawer so I can work with it a little bit. Just have to figure out how to get it to the bottom of it. That's why I don't want to cut it completely to match, because I don't know if I necessarily will get it to match. But it's a very thick wallpaper, so I find it's pretty forgiving. I'm a little crooked with my tree there. A crooked tree. Okay, there we go. Got it going on now. Now what I like to do is I like to see where that point is where I pushed it into the center, or into the corner, excuse me. I like to take it where I pushed it into the corner and then do a release cut all the way up to where that is. And that really helps you kind of get into those corners a little bit better. This might be a little bit better. So try to keep it upright. And I just take my finger, try to make sure that everybody's against where they need to be. Puncture it, like push it into that corner, and then you'll see your little mark, because it'll pick up some of the wood. And then just cut that, and then see how well it fits into that little. Take this metal ruler, get the tape off my X-Acto knife, and then I'm just going to push it towards the edge hard, and then take the X-Acto knife and cut off the excess. I'm going to take a piece of pallet wood and measure off what I need to cut off to make the shelf. It's not going to be the right depth, but that'll be just fine. This is a little bit broken. This is perfect to use on this project. But I do have to square off this side. So I'm going to go square this side off, and then we will measure what we need to do. A lot of times it looks like pallet wood is squared, but not necessarily is it. So, and I'm just going to cut on the other side of the nails, not too, you don't want to cut into nails. And try my best. Okay, how did we do? It actually is a little bit larger, so I need to rip that a little bit. I just set my guide to the depth. And better fit? Yes, not bad at all. But I'm going to wax and get this cleaned up before I attach this. And I think I'm going to paint this, actually. Since we're leaving this all wood. I'm going to go ahead and give this a sand and paint it because it's not terribly pretty. Not terribly pretty. So I'm going to do bayberry. I think bayberry would be a nice match. It might be a little dark, but so both sides are painted. We'll give it a little sand. So I'm hoping aging wax will clean up the water damage. But you definitely want to get your paper down first because then your paper's not going to stick to something that's been waxed. That up. And it should come off the paper. It might leave a little bit of discoloration, but nothing terrible. But yeah, look at, can't even see that water damage now. Yes, I'm doing the outside too. It's just going to freshen it all up. Fusion has a top coat in it, but I'm still going to add a little bit of the aging wax. Just I want to make sure that I'm tying my pieces together. Don't want to have a freshly painted board and then you know, in an aged and weathered drawer. Just doesn't seem to match. Just gonna make sure that we're square.